What? Okay. What got me addicted to cycling? I don't know exactly what it was. It's not something I can put my finger on or anything, but I do remember the first time that I ever kind of got a taste of it, and it was, oh, I think maybe I was 13 years old. Um, and I remember my mom and I getting into a huge fight, and I was so pissed off. I got on my 10 speed. That's what we had back then, 10 speed. And I started riding. And the next thing I know, I was in Albany. And we lived in Corrales, and Albany was the next town over. Um, then I had to come back. So it was probably about 20 miles round trip. That's how angry I was. 20 miles back, back then to me, I mean, you never been on a bike or rarely rode a bike for any length of time. That was a long ways. So I got a little bit of a taste of it. I ended up ruining one of my knee operations because I was riding in my cast. I have a genetic knee disorder, so I had my first surgery when I was 14, and I wouldn't stay off my bike, and I ended up ruining the operation. My mother was pissed again. But then I didn't really pick up a bike for a long time. It wasn't until after I graduated that a friend of mine uh, started building bikes, and he started getting into cycling. He was my one of my closest friends' um, boyfriends. Anyway, so he built me a bike, and beautiful bike. I absolutely love that bike. That was when I was in college, and I rode that bike all around. And I would actually, I had another friend named Dana who used to uh, compete in uh, like triathlons, half triathlons, mini triathlons, and he needed a someone to work out with him. So I would go work out with him, and I would ride the bike, and we'd ride. I never ever kept track of my mileage then, but I do know it was a lot. Um, then I kind of stopped because I had Cameron, and so I didn't really pick up a bike for that long. Um, it wasn't until pretty much until I had my knee replacement a few years ago, my first knee replacement, that I decided to buy a bike and use it to rehab my knee. I started riding that actually about 4 months after my knee replacement. And that's when I caught the bug. I mean, I was hooked. 6 months after that, I was riding, and I put together a team with my sister and some of her friends at work and my friends, and we did the Tour de Cure, riding up around Mount Hood, down into Hood River, and that was probably one of the greatest experiences I had. Since then, I've done sprint triathlons, I've done other events, but I mainly ride just for myself. But I remember after that first event of the Tour de Cure, going down to the brewery and having a beer and a big lunch with friends, and this guy coming up to me and asking me about my knee, what I had to have done, because I've had about, altogether with both knees, 8 knee operations. I told him I had had a knee replacement, and he asked me how long ago it was. I told him it was 6 months, and he said, that's just incredible. I said, thank you, and I was really proud, and come to find out later, he is an orthopedic surgeon. So anyway, but since then, I've been hooked. To describe the feeling, when I'm on my bike, nothing else exists. Nothing. And I hate to say that because I have my son, so I'll say this. I take my son with me on my bike rides. but that's the only person that'll go with me. He's with me on my bike rides, but nothing else. No worries, no problems, no issues. It's just me, the bike, and the road. And this feeling is like nothing else. You always wanted me to describe this, Vanessa. And I think, I thought about it for a long time, and this is the closest I can come to describing the feeling of being on my bike. And I rarely ride with people. I usually ride all alone. It's just my thing. It's like when you're totally head over heels in love with somebody, and you're in each other's arms, and that's the only place you want to be. And that place in that moment in each other's arms feels, it's unbelievable. If you've ever been in love, you know what I'm talking about. And that's the feeling I get when I'm on my bike. And I think that's the best way I can explain it. I think that pretty well says it all. So, all right. The next bit of this we can't put on tape, and you know that. All right.